Good evening, it's the Romany Rye. Tonight I'm going to tell you a little story that happened to me in the scrapyard. And we had a nice little earner to this job. And it was ongoing. Everybody along the road, 5 o'clock was shutting. The gates was shut. This particular night, Jimmy Crocker shut the furnace down. Dick was cutting the profiles up the top. And me and Donald was just stood there chatting. And him pulled this bloke in a white car. I think it was the Omen Avenger. Anyway, it was a white car. And the bloke pulled in. Car was heavily weighted down in the back. So he said, are you still open? I said, well, technically no. I said, but if you've got something easy, yes. So he said, I got some type metal in the back. I said, type metal? He said, yeah, the letters that are used in printing. I said, well, I can tell you now before we open the boot, we'll only buy it for zinc. I said, because I've had it before. He said, I don't really care as long as I can sell it. I said, right, pull over to the shed, pull over to the shed. And the bloke lifted the boot up. And he had these like little tiny sacks, everyone full up. Fair few in there. I think he had 4 of the weight in the boot. Car was loaded right down, handing on the back seat. So started taking it out, told him the price. That was right. So unloaded it, weighed it up. Donald went back into the office and put out his books, steer him the way he did, and was paying the fella up. So I went in there and sat down. I said, what printing firm do you work for then? He said, we got quite a big printing works in Truro. I said, oh yeah. I said, what about your printing plates, your litho plates? He said, I got a room full of them out there, he said. The firm that supplies us used to take them back. But that stopped. He said, never since it stopped, they've been just stacked up in the back room. I said, oh. I said, I'll give you a price on them if you want. Well, yeah, he said, I wish. He said, but would you keep a bit back for me? I said, of course. I said, you're only going to say what you want. He said, because they're just stacked up in the back room and nobody's taking them out. So I said to Donald, take his address anyway. Took his address, we agreed to meet him the next morning. Donald come to work, we jumped in the truck, off we went. Gets over to her now, found the place. Sure enough, he had them stacked from floor to ceiling. In this back room. All with rope, tied around with rope, like a crisscross. And I said, you've got a fair few here, yes? She said, we have. Now, I don't know if anybody knows about litho plates, but they weigh like lead, although it's aluminium. They're so thin that you can stack so many in a pile, and they just weigh heavy. Anyway, top grade alley, worth a lot more than old road. Worth a lot more than 89. So I looks at the pile, and Donald counts it up. I said, how do you want to do it then? He said, hang on, I'll get the boss. He said, but remember our agreement. I said, yeah, don't worry about our agreement. I said, that's in the bank. Anyway, over comes this mush now. Real posh bloke. He said, I don't know why they haven't took him away. He said, and I don't know why they're stacked up here. I said, well, we'll buy all you get. As and when you want me to collect them all, I'll pick them up. That's fair enough, he said. He said, but I've got to find out why they haven't took them or why they're not taking them away again. He said, because I've never seen anything like this. I never knew. That's what the boss said. I said, right. He said, well, give me a price for what's there. He said, and we'll go from there. I said, I'll give you £500 cash for all what's there. Give me a few minutes, he said. Went away. Come back. He said, yeah, that's all right. You can have them. So Donald being Donald had his receipt book there, wrote out the receipt, paid him up. We loaded him on the truck. Now we had over 1.5 tons out of this room. And I wasn't sure, but I think litho plates at that time was probably about 1,400 quid a ton. So I know we was over 2 grand for what was in there. That's for sure. So the old man went away, or the Roy went away and paid that. So the almost said, how much am I getting? I said, I'll give you 100 quid. Oh, lovely job. He said, what about if I bring these up as and when they come available? I said, I don't mind, man, so whatever you want to do. Anyway, that was the start of a real long relationship, actually, because I come friendly with the boss. He was into steam engines, and my grandfather was into steam engines, so was I. And he just wouldn't leave the subject alone. But that was all because, look, the yard gates was open a little bit after 5 o'clock, and the mush come down past Johnny Orchard, and he come down past Malcolm. It was all shut. But that was my bit of luck that night. But any of those jobs where Donald was sort of semi-involved, I always looked after Donald well. He never asked for a penny of mine, but I always looked after him. And like I said, I become good friends. So I almost lost out on bringing it up because the boss, he kept an eye on it from that day on. When there was like 400 or 500 out there, he'd ring me up. But he never questioned me on the price. He never questioned me on the weight. The weight was never mentioned. All he wanted was what it was. And that was a new customer. And the sad part about that one was he passed away. And when he passed away, the place shut down. But I did have all the old printing presses out of there afterwards, actually. And I wish I kept one or two of them that was in there, because there's real old-fashioned yaks. But he was a nice man. A man called Mark Bray. And he was all right. So that's the story of the litho plate. See, a lot of people don't even realise they exist. But if I'm not mistaken, it's because they got a lot of tin in them. And well, the zinc letters, I mean, they were zinc. They used to call them tight metal. But for me, it was only zinc. Whether or not it was an higher grade, I don't know. But those are the times when you have a little bit of luck. And made you what you are. Made me what I was. You was always looking for that little deal that would come along. And that was the story of the printing works in Truro. Yeah, nice little job. So for now, it's bye-bye from the Romany Rye.